Welcome to the Echoes of the Hidden Man, a podcast that explores the struggles of those often unseen in our busy world. Each episode highlights individuals whose experiences resonate with us, yet frequently go unheard. We uncover the resilience, vulnerability, and strength beneath the surface, providing a platform for authentic voices and diverse perspectives. Join us on our journey to discover and create connection as we illuminate the shared human experience that unite us all. Whether you seek inspiration or simply a moment of connection, you're in the right place. Let's explore the hidden narratives together.
Welcome to Echoes of the Hidden Man, a podcast that explores the struggles and challenges that our fathers face, who often remain unnoticed in this our busy world.
Absolutely.
In this episode, we are focusing on single fathers. And I just want to take this opportunity this afternoon to welcome my friend and a very gifted young man whom I have known for a while, who is a resilient young man who I've seen walk through his struggle with faith and standing up as a good father, a father of, who shows that what fathers should be. And so my guest this evening is Mr. Kalvan McLeod. Welcome, Kalvan, to this evening's session.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here, a pleasure to share with you and be a part of this movement.
Well, can you tell us a little about yourself, your family, and how you become a single father?
Yeah, sure. I'm 33. I just turned 33.
Yes.
I have 6 children, 2 boys, 4 girls. My wife and I it would have been 12 years this year of marriage, but we separated 6 years ago.
Okay.
So after those 2019, after we drifted away, separated, and I just picked up the slack. In 2019, actually, felt like I was being prepared for it,
Right.
because the mother wasn't, there. Yeah. So I was doing everything, the laundry, the schooling, the picking up. I was doing everything. And I'm like, oh, this is a load. But I didn't know that 2020 that she was gonna actually leave out the home.
Right.
So, but I was being prepared for it in 2019. So when 2020 came, 21, 23, I was prepared for it. I was ready for it.
Yes.
And the slack it was difficult.
Yes.
But I knew how to handle it. So.
Yes. And with your faith also, that alone prepare you as a father. And for the purpose to give a background, I know that you have been raised in a home, a father who is a Christian and a mother, and their examples and their steadfastness do play a great role in your life.
Yes, sir. It plays a major role, especially my mother with just her stillness, when the trials I seen her go through and how her faith was, that built my faith. And even my father, the trials that he went through, seeing him and how his resilience with faith, it really impacted me, and it grew my faith. And I always, since a young child, seeing them, faith is my portion. And it's not just a cliche or anything,
but it's the reality
reality for me. And many episodes, even in my marriage, where I would say, speak something to an existence, and just by faith, I would say, by faith it is settled, and it happened. It manifested because of the faith, and absolute. Majorly in having my faith in God. That's what
carries you through.
That's what carries it through. Me actually believing that of Christ Jesus.
Right. So what inspired you to take on the journey of single fatherhood as a parent? Having a large family. I know you have, how many girls do you have?
I have 4 girls.
And how many boys?
2 boys.
Wow. Now, I can understand some fathers who have boys, it's much easier for them to manage the role. But when you have 4 girls, at different ages, and then you have to see to it every day, you got to get up, make sure that their breakfast is ready, their hair is prepared, and they're ready for school.
Right.
Tell us a little how you manage that weekly task. Give us a little.
At first, it was difficult because a father, how I father, I'm kind of rough on the edges because I
Yes.
want them to be dependable.
Right.
I want them to be independent. And my girls, actually, excuse me, this just happened. I had asked my oldest two, my son Calvin, and just to back up, I'll give you the names.
Yes.
That's okay. My oldest is Calvin Jr. He's 12. My oldest daughter is Kamora. She just turned 11 on the 9th of this month,
Awesome.
so she's still a birthday girl. And Kalea, she's 9. Camilla, she's 7. Kaylin, she's 6, and our youngest, he's 2. Just starting out with it when it first happened, the start of the journey was a little difficult.
Right.
But however, I just took on that load because I knew I had to.
Right.
But recently, I asked my oldest two. I said, "How can I be a better father?"
Right.
I said, "How am I? What are your emotions of me being a father?"
Right.
My son say, "Well, Dad, you're a good father. You tell me what I need to do, and I know sometimes you get mad at me when I don't do something right, but you're trying to tell me what to do." And I said, "Okay, I appreciate it." And I seen my oldest daughter, she would look like,
Wow.
And I said, "Okay, I see your facial expression.
Yes,
so just go ahead and tell me what's on your heart. Like what is it?"
Yeah.
She said, "Well, Daddy, sometimes you talk to me kind of rough, and when I do make mistakes, you be really, really mad." I said, "Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you told me that, so I can acknowledge it, so I can step back, and when you do make a mistake, I can, analyze it and say, okay, I won't be too rough on it. I'm gonna be gentle because a father's supposed to be gentle to his daughters." But like I said, with I just want her. I seen so many young women be dependent on someone else and don't have things in order. So I just want them to be dependable.
Yeah, you want to train them the right way.
So,
as a father, you want to see them become a great example of how you see your own siblings, your sisters, grow. So, because Kim, particularly Kim, is a very, she's a precious woman of God, and I'm sure that they will admire her. And you are trying to, instill in them values, right? So how do you manage your time and energy to meet the needs of all of your children? How do you manage that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I just try to do it one by one. I let them know that each and every one of you, your time with me is valuable. So I pray.
Yes.
Because
can't do it without God. Can't do it without Him.
I don't see how it will work if I don't pray about it. And once I do pray about it, He gives me time frames of how to do it and when to do it.
Right.
And it's been manageable. It's been working well. It worked well. And I know sometimes if I have a long day, I still try to give them that time. But first, I do say, okay, guys, let me go take care of myself first. Let me, do what I need to do, freshen up, and then I come and speak to you or this or that. And I would, each one, I would say, okay, I'm going to talk to you.
You assign them different duties and stuff. Good. Because they're here to share the responsibilities.
Right.
That is good. And because when you do that, they're going to grow up becoming more balanced. They are going to grow up, not dependent on just parents alone.
Right.
And so when you grow them as a single father, not having their mothers there, it's good to help them to understand how to take responsibility and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what strategies do you use to keep your children emotionally connected and supported?
That's good.
What are some of the strategies?
I would say one strategy actually, recently, my daughters, when I cook, I have them come and cook with me. I have
that's
one
beautiful.
wants to cook, one wants to set the plates, one wants to set the utensils. Awesome. And that strategy right there keeps them bonding not only with me but with themselves.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome.
For them with that, and then for my son, I would just have that one-on-one with him and highlight what he really likes, which is soccer.
Right. So do you go to soccer match with him?
Well, I just got him a soccer ball, and when he was here, we would go outside and he'll show me his dribbling, show me the skills that he's learned. And I just make sure I pay attention to it, and that, like the guys that he really liked, like Messi and Ronaldo, I would mention them, and he was like, "Oh, you were listening to me."
Yes, yes. And when you're able to build that rapport with him as a father, it let him know that you value him, you value what he loves, and you're not only just thinking about his academical growth and development, but his all emotional and mental and social development. Because one thing I can say that I have observed through research and study that right now our boys are falling back. They are not performing academically. The girls are at least 5 paces ahead of our boys. And so as a father, when you are giving that attention to your son and let him know you care about it, that will motivate him regarding how to focus on his academical life as well as his social life. And I'm so proud that you are doing that for him, because so many of our boys don't have a father figure in their lives.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I know you grow having your father in your life, which has contributed immensely to your own growth and development and and the things you value. You saw his example, and you are living your life, training and developing your children in that way. And that's excellent. That's excellent. So how do you ensure you are taking care of your own well-being while caring for everyone else? Because you have to be mentally. This month is men's mental month, and I know it can't be easy for you. Tell us how you.
It's not easy at all. I know. If I can go back a little bit in 2021, the pressure was so heavy where I were dealing with the leave and dealing with all the children. It took a great toll, and if I could be transparent, I had to actually go to a psych ward, because,
to get some counseling.
I had to get some counseling. So, and the counseling went well. They tried to push medicine on me, even though I was in that state. I was still saying, "No, God is,
God,
my
first." You're right.
So, after that happened, though, that made me say, "Okay, I don't want to get back in this state of mind anymore."
Right.
So Lord, show me what to do, how to deal, and things start coming. Strategic plans started to form to help my mental health, and I actually spoke with another therapist, and she really actually helped me to where I am now.
Awesome. This experience, I know, for many men are not willing to acknowledge their emotional strain, and if you don't acknowledge it and seek the help and get the type of support, and that is what is most needful when you're faced with these things. Because I think what I think has happened, your separation caused great emotional strain. How did separation affect you when your wife leave, as a man who wants to be married and wants to have your family together? How did it affect you?
It affected me greatly, because like you said, I my whole thing of marriage is to have a family, a whole one, and to grow together and to build together and just be together.
Right.
So when it happened, I was devastated. I was mentally devastated. At times I thought it was just, it was a shock.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, maybe it's not real.
It's not real.
Yeah. But I can't psych myself, So, and even with that, I kept saying, well, Lord, tell and reveal to me if it's real or not, or kept going back and forth. And I actually got a word from the Holy Spirit said, don't worry about your wife or anything else. Just establish yourself for me. And once I did that, started to peel back the devastation of the thought, the pain of the why.
That separation and the why. Because the fact is, I'm dealing with this month two webinar on men's mental health, and one of the things I recognize is that men deals with their emotional situation different from women. Because we're logical beings, women are emotional. Right. Sometimes we tend to go internal instead of finding the right means of overcoming our challenges. And so I'm so proud that you were able to bounce back, and able to get yourself settled in a way that you can now be by single-handed parenting to your children, making sure that they are striving and growing. And so I really appreciate that. Now, what are some memorable moments that are the proudest achievement in your journey as a father so far? What are some of those memorable moments?
I always say, is at the end, I say of graduation season, but when my oldest daughter, graduated from 5th grade,
Yes.
that moment was everything to me. With her.
Wow.
And then with my son, because when that happened in 2019,
yes,
with my son, I thought that I was going to lose a relationship with him
yeah,
because we were real close. But when I was
Yes.
in that state,
yes,
I drifted from him. Like I would want to be around him
right,
because
yes.
I wasn't
You don't
there
want
with
him to see you in that state,
Right.
yeah.
So the best memorable moment is him saying one day that it's okay. I still love you. Like I'm still here. You're still here.
Right.
So that was very impactful with the thought of that memory, that great memory that I still hold today. So.
Yes, that's awesome. And you see, one of the things is that when we go through phases in our life, if we're not careful, it can impact not just you individual, but your children and your extended families. And I'm sure during that process, your parents played an integral role also because they are believers. They believe in marriage. They believe in the holisticness of the family. And so, what role did they play to help you?
Oh man, it was, what's the word? It was I want to hear something better than great.
Yeah.
But it was very supportive.
Awesome.
It was, immensely supportive with my mother and my father, getting them, like when I had my episodes and I just needed to be to myself. They stepped in and they came and got them and they took them to the park or something like that. And they just was supportive and understood what I was going through, and most importantly, they prayed for me because I felt the prayers.
Awesome. Yeah. I remember during that process too, you and I had a sit down, a good conversation where we talk about how to move forward, how to regain your posture, regain your confidence, regain yourself, and knowing that this happened, but it's not the end of the world. That you can bounce back greater and better. I'm sure right now you're getting so strong. I've seen it. I've seen your smile coming back, your joy, and
I was saying that earlier. Like the smile is coming back.
Yes, everything is coming back, man. And so I'm truly happy to know that as a father, because today most of our fathers, the world around us look as fathers. Men, the matter of fact, masculinity is under attack. Men are finding they're what we call their positive masculinity and their negative masculinity. But when you see a father like you who standing up and being who a true father is supposed to be, exemplifying care, love, patient, and letting your children know I will go to the ends of the world to make sure that you're taken care of, you're satisfied, you're provided for.
Yes, sir.
That I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, commend you for that. So looking ahead, what are your hopes, your goals for your children as they grow up? What are some of your...
My goals for them is just first and foremost as a one for them to love each other. And I know kids will be kids, but I told them if I have time, I want to say a scenario. We were at home watching service online, and the pastor was saying, hold your neighbor's hand. And we were all sitting on the sofa. I had everyone lying on the sofa, so we're going to watch this. We're going to, be in tune with it. And when he said that, I thought about it. I said, everyone, we're going to hold everyone from here to there. Everyone going to hold each other's hand.
Yes.
And when he did that, when that happened, in that moment, he said, even the children that's at home,
wow,
we need unity.
Wow, that was precious.
It was awesome. Because that's the goal. I want them to have unity with themselves, and that unity just will bond everything else. Unity with other people, unity with me.
Yes.
I just want them to know that they are loved. My goal for them is for them to know that they're loved.
Right.
I want them to know that no matter what, they are loved.
Right. And that you're striving to make sure you provide for them to get the best schooling, the best of everything, that they can come up and strive and be the best, discuss with them, have conversation. What would you like to be in life? And I'm sure I
just asked them, and My daughter, one of my daughters want to be a police officer. One
Yeah.
of my daughters want to be a doctor, and
Yes.
KJ, he was saying he want to be a soccer player, and I told him, I said,
Yeah.
if you want to be a soccer player, you start now.
Yes.
Do what you're doing now and be dedicated to it.
Right. Definitely.
And it's just, then my oldest daughter, she wants to be a teacher, and I just tell them all, just be dedicated to it. Know that this is what you want to do, and first and foremost, put God first, put God in it, and it should happen.
Absolutely, that's so great. And I'm sure, based on your experience and what you have walked through, you have a lot that you can share to other fathers. Because how about in terms of going to school at their parent teachers meeting? You have that privilege to go and participate.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, good. All right. What advice would you give to other fathers who are beginning the journey as a single parent? Because you have been there for a long while now, taking care. What advice would you give them? What should they look for, and how should they navigate this process?
I would say to you, hold fast, stay firm in your prayer life, and don't worry about the why of why you're a single father. God will take care of it. I've struggled with that. I kept saying early on, I'm like, why? And I hurt. Don't worry about the why. This is just what it is now, and you just gotta accept that. Accept where you are, and you can grow from it. Trust me, I know. I've been in some dark situations, dark occasions where I thought I wouldn't see no light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
But like going back to having a firm prayer life.
Yes.
And at the same time, it says, you can't pray and worry.
No.
So you can't pray and still say why. So I had to learn that. When he said, don't worry about the why, I stopped to worry. So it sounds easier than
to say than do.
So don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just know that it's in God's hand. Put it in his. That's what I did. Trust. Every time I said, Lord, I trust you, miraculous things happen. So the advice I would give you is to just trust God. Trust God in this season. Don't worry about the why, and continue doing what you have to do, taking care of the children.
Thank you. As I look at this month, where so many men across our nation and across the world are dealing with a lot of emotional challenges. One of my objectives is to, and I hear you refer to it, that when you deal with mental health issue and you go through emotional setbacks and you have to fight through it, one of the things that I am realizing that faith and treatment do work in hand. The doctors treat, but your faith, because we are both body, soul, and spirit, and oftentimes we focus on the outward man, the physical. We dress it up, we let it look good, and sometimes we mask it and we pretend like everything is well. When internally we're torn up, we're devastated. Because for me, I have seen men who have gone through separation, like yourself, divorce, and have to rebound back, how it can take a toll on them emotionally, mentally, and socially. And so seeing you coming back and seeing you your joy, I just watch you with your kids and see how they're striving and how happy you all are as a father. I am so proud of this journey for you. And so, here is an example of a great father enduring the emotional and striving for the emotional well-being of his children and being a good example. And so, as we focus and feature this evening on, we're giving voice to men like Mr. Kalvan McLeod, who as a father is standing strong. And so this Father's Day, as we're looking forward to celebrate our fathers, I am so proud of this young man. I've watched him strive, I've watched him rebound. And I want to say to those who are joining us for this program, if it's your first time, I invite you to go on our YouTube channel, which is I See My Baby Men Support, and click on it, share, and leave a comment. We want to hear from you. If this session inspires you, here is a great example of someone who did not quit, but fight back, who stand up and said, look here, I have my children, my 4 girls, my 2 boys. I want to be an example. Even if their mother does not stand with me, I am going to stand with God. And so I am so proud of you, sir. And I just want one final question before we conclude. How is your relationship with your ex-wife? How is it?
Um, it's starting to settle. The pain.
Yeah.
It's starting. The relationship is rocky, but I know it's going to be smooth. Like I said, it's starting to settle. The smoothness is starting to settle.
And how's the children in terms of are they able to connect with her and have?
Yes, absolutely. They love their mother, and I'm glad I always tell them, even though you love that and you may want to stay with that, but still, that's still your mother. Still respect her. Still love her.
Okay. So. Well, again, we say thanks, and so we were so happy this evening to have this proud father, this strong father, this resilient father, and so we're happy that you were able to share with us, and so we're looking forward to have you coming again as we share many more episodes with men who are overcomers and who have triumphed over their difficulties. And so thanks again for joining, and we're looking forward to have you again. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. McLeod, for coming and sharing your story with us.
Yes,
it's a
sir.
blessing.
Thanks for having me.